Let's have a little talk about how one person can make a difference. One person looked at that rock face over there and thought that the proportions might be just right to carve a wonderful structure. One person, probably chipping with a rock, they didn't have steel chisels then. One person, well, lots of one persons, chipped away, and there's the result. One person makes a difference. Now, what's on my mind this morning is trash. Because here we are, at the top of the mountain in Petra, Jordan, and that structure carved into solid rock is called the monastery. And it's surrounded with trash. Discarded tin cans, and here's a Milo brand sardines, written in Arabic and English, no date, I can't tell how long this has been here. But one person dropped that here. One person decided that instead of putting it together with other trash or carrying it out, they'd just drop it. So judging from the age of this can, a lot of people have looked at this trash. The way I see it in life, trash is a good parallel for personal responsibility. You could boil it down and say there are only three kinds of people. Those who litter, those who are careful not to litter, and those who pick up litter. It's kind of like that old, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Now, it seems daunting in a place like this with the number of plastic water bottles and litter around. It seems daunting to try to make a difference. And with the amount of trash I've picked up over the last 24 hours here, it's not even the tiniest dent. I know it's not making a difference, except to me it's making a difference. Because when I pick up trash, for me, it's a parallel for life. That you go along, you get your 80 or 90 or 100 years here, and you can either do lots of little tiny things that help out, or leave things as they are, or make them a lot worse. Thunder in the background, I'm not sure what that's coming from. But you know, when I decide to pass by this sardine can, I'd be making the decision to leave things as they are instead of making them better. Personally, I want to be a guy who makes things better. But realizing that it's not going to make any difference in the biggest sense of the word, it does make a difference to me. And I've talked about this previously, about the science of karma. And I truly believe in karma, but for me, it doesn't involve an afterlife or some, reward when you're in paradise or some eventual payback from the gods. To me, karma is a true scientific phenomenon that happens right now, in this lifetime. And here's why. As I go through life and I pick up a sardine can, I know that I'm part of the solution and not part of the problem and not part of just ignoring it. I feel better about myself. I think of myself as a good guy. I carry myself as a good guy. We all read each other. People who are dishonest, who can't be trusted, you can tell. Don't you notice that, gosh, sometimes somebody just strikes you right from the start as being a person who's not trustworthy? Well, it's not ESP. It's a phenomenon called Q leakage. And what Q leakage is about is the little signals that we give off to each other and read in others. Think about a barcode reader. If you're at the supermarket and, well, this is pre-barcode, no barcodes on here. This has been wrecking the view for lots of people. for a long time. But if you were to purchase a can of sardines today, and the checkout clerk scans it across that little piece of glass, and the little red laser light picks up every bit of information about it, the price and the particular product number, and in some instances the serial number, everything about it. Well, if a barcode reader could do that, and it's only working off of PC-based technology, a very simple processor can handle that task, what about your brain? You certainly have far, far, far more processing capability in your noggin than exists in a Cray supercomputer in an array of the largest old-fashioned IBM mainframes. They don't come close to what you process. So if a scanner with a relatively dumb computer could tell everything about a can of sardines like this, what do you think your brain is doing? When you meet somebody and it strikes you that they seem like a dishonest person or one who can't be trusted, what's really happening is that you're noticing the rate of their blinking. You're noticing the moisture on their face. You're noticing slight pauses, micro hesitations as they speak. And a truly accomplished liar can become excellent at covering up most of the dead giveaways, most of the pronounced stutters, most of the, dripping sweat or the looking away. An accomplished liar can do that, but it still gets through. Because even the most accomplished liar, you can tell if somebody's being honest with you or not. You know in your gut that something's just not right. Well, doesn't it stand to reason then that if you're able to detect people who are dishonest, couldn't you also detect people who are good, fine people? Absolutely. You know that you run across people all the time for whom you just have an immediate affinity and you just think, that's a great person. I had that feeling personally last night here in Petra. I'm staying at a youth hostel. You don't really get to talk with people at a Marriott, so wherever possible, I'll choose a youth hostel or something where I'm more likely to get into a real conversation with someone and learn about their local culture. So the guy I talked with last night, the manager of this youth hostel, his name is Isam. And we talked a lot about Islam and his view of what it means to be a good Muslim as opposed to those who get all the publicity and are truly agents of what he calls Satan, or Satan, the devil. Well, I knew about this guy right from the start, that he was a really solid, upstanding person. And of course I could tell in the same way that you can tell when there's a liar. And since you can tell bad people and good people, don't you think that if I'm a person who picks up this sardine can, that goes into my character, that I become a person who picks up trash? Don't you think you're capable of reading that in me? Aren't you capable of reading it in others when you see that they are people who are dishonest or people who, have some ulterior motive, or on the other hand, are really fine, wonderful people, such as Isam last night? Well, every time you're out on the street or on top of a mountain, looking at something magnificent or simply on a sidewalk, and you see a discarded piece of trash, you have the opportunity to pick it up. That makes you part of the solution. That makes you feel good about yourself. That makes you give off signals to others that you're one of the good folks. They read that in you. They know that you're a kind of person they can trust and they want to be associated with. And that's how relationships get started. I do believe that birds of a feather flock together, so to speak. So if you want to have a great circle of truly outstanding, wonderful people, be one yourself. And it's not a matter of a lifelong process. It's one person with one act deciding to make a difference. That's my thought for the day. Enjoy the view. person makes all the difference.